Hi guys, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel and another 12 by 12 scrapbook layout video for the Traveller's Notebook online design team. As you can see, I've already done a lot on this layout. So I did a lot of, well, most of this off camera. I did take a little bit of footage sort of at the start of each process, which I will insert here as I'm talking. But what I did was I have a cut file. This is a Paige Evans cut file, I do believe. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I wanted to hand stitch it, but I don't have a silhouette cameo. I only have a portrait, which only does 8 by 12. So what I did, I have a printer that prints A3. So I took my printer, I set all the cut lines to print the cut lines, and then I printed it on my printer with a light grey ink. So I had all the lines there. So once I printed it out, I went ahead and did all my mixed media first. I started by putting down a thin coat of gesso all over my background cardstock just to prep the paper, reinforce it a little bit, and it didn't work as well as I was hoping. So I usually use a Kaiser Craft brand cardstock, but I've run out of my white, and I had this pack of Rosie Studio cardstock, but it's not cardstock, it's just sort of heavyweight paper. It's really not cardstock. And I didn't realize that till I opened it, and yeah, I kind of had no other option. So after I did the gesso, I went ahead and I took some acrylic paint. So I just wanted to use acrylic paint this time instead of watercolor because I wanted it to be a little more opaque, a little less runny. They're just cheap ones from Spotlight. And I just used white, red, blue, and yellow. So for the green, I just mostly used white with a tiny bit of blue and yellow to get this really pale mint green. Then with the pink, I just did a tiny bit of red in white. And then for this peach color, I just added a bit of yellow to that pink color. And I just used the packaging technique. I added a little bit of water and did some splatters as well, as you can see. So it was really simple, didn't take me long at all. And then I went through with my awl and I pierced holes, and then I hand stitched with white thread. I just did a back stitch. It looks quite good on camera. I really like how it looks now that it's finished. But like I said, I had a few problems. So because the paper was thinner than usual, I tore through a couple of times, and I was able to save it mostly, but down here I completely ripped. Like, I ripped that sucker really good. So I'm just going to cover that part up with an embellishment. The rest of it is looking well enough. Upon close inspection, you can see a couple of torn spots, but I mean, in general, it looks really nice. Lots of dimension. I love the design of it. The layout's really, really beautiful. A lot of work went into this, a lot of hand stitching. This took me a long time. I don't even want to tell you how long it took me. So hubby and I did a Lord of the Rings / Hobbit marathon for the weekend. So we watched all 6 movies, the extended versions, and I was working on this pretty much that entire time. So that could tell you how long I was working on this. And it doesn't usually take me that long to stitch things, but because I was having issues with the paper and the thread I ended up pulling out was not the best quality because it was all I had left in white, unfortunately. So I definitely need to go stock up on some embroidery thread, but otherwise I just used a back stitch. I used all 6 strands of floss, and that's it really. So so this is pretty much finished. I don't have a lot to do now. So this is the photo I'm going to scrap. This is my little baby daughter at her cake smash about 6 months ago now. Face covered in cake, beautiful little flower crown, very soft colors. I thought it was perfect to go with this layout because it will fit. I sort of want a photo around here. I don't want to cover up much of this at all because it took me so long and I worked so hard on it. So I'm going to crop this down, probably put her just there, and I just want this to sort of stand on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and use mostly Cocoa Vanilla More Than Words collection from the Traveller's Notebook online, and after that really long intro, I will see you at the end. Bye. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim it down my photo. Even though I did say in my intro that this page was nearly finished, I did fuss around with it a lot more than I thought I was going to, and that's just me. That's my style. I'm not a quick scrapper. I do chop and change a lot of things, but I cut most of it out so it's not too boring for you guys. Okay, I'm trying to choose a border. This cardstock was actually a little bit smaller than 12 by 12, which annoyed me, but it was between that peach and that pink. I vacillated for a little while, but I ended up going with the peach. I think mainly because I only have one sheet of that pink left, and I really want to use that for a background at some point. So I'm going to use the other sheet of the pink that I have and start to make a little bit of a photo mat. It's a really beautiful sort of marbled watercolor. Just a thin strip of that. I've placed my photo there, and it is going to go there eventually. I'm just going to start pulling out all the little bits and pieces that I fussy cut out of the collection. Most of this is sort of just scraps and from the cut apart sheet and things like that. Lots of cute little scraps and bits and pieces that I like to lay with. So I love that soft floral. That's going to be my first little, well, my second little layer. I've already done the pink. Snip that little bit off, and that can go down the bottom there. I love using up every little piece of paper and bits and pieces that I possibly can from every collection. I hate waste, especially when it's such a beautiful collection like this. So this is sort of the pink version of that peach pattern. It's the same pattern as the border paper, but a little bit pinker. Just cutting off the like a border corner so I can save the rest. And just having a fuss and a play, deciding. I pull out this grey wood grain. I really love the sort of soft grey that has, and then I'm just going to tear the edge. I love a bit of torn paper on my photo mats. Sliding it up there. I'm going to end up cutting it off anyway. Cutting it in half, you'll see. Yep, so there we go. I just find it's easier to sort of get them exactly how I want them when I do this. I don't have to worry about both sides. I can do sort of one side at a time. And it saves a little bit of paper, so I can use more later. Getting rid of a bit of excess there. Love that little soft edge there. And I've cut out that little sweetheart from the cut apart sheet. That does end up being my title. I'm trying out that Precious. I like that it's the same color as the sort of peachy orange in the middle of the flowers, but I feel like it's a little bit overwhelms the photo a bit too much, so I took it away. Playing with some of the vellum accents here, I do use these little that little floral that goes there, and those other butterflies stay where they are. Those were cut apart out of the, I just fussy cut them out of a couple of the papers as well. That little floral doesn't end up staying there, but I'm trying it, and that one at the bottom does. So I found this other one. This is another one that I've fussy cut from one of the papers, and I'm going to end up cutting it in half and layering it there. And a bit of doily, because why not? Just going to use my ATG to glue that onto the right side of my photo. After obviously I've decided to go ahead and glue my title down. Sometimes I do things in weird order. So there we go. Trim off the excess. I just want that tiny bit peeking out. A bit of adhesive foam, did that off camera, and that just pops up my photo nicely. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my flower in half. Pretty much goes there, and I will start to glue sort of all my little bits and pieces to my photo mat so I can move the whole thing around, but it's going to stay where it is pretty much. Pulled out the flare buttons. Still haven't managed to use one of these yet, even though they're beautiful. I think it's just I haven't had a lot of practice. I don't use them a lot, but they're so pretty, and I'm really struggling to find a spot for them. I do end up getting one on the page later. So I pulled out that little chipboard love heart and put it just right above heart in the sweetheart of the title. I love that. So there we go. I'm starting to glue all my little floral bits to my photo mat. Not going crazy with the embellishments. Like I said, there's so much going on this page already. I just want to have a few sweet little florals poking out from behind the photo. And I'm gluing down that butterfly over the top of that big ripped hole that I put. You definitely can't see it by the end. And then this cute little one at the top of the photo. I'm trying to make a bit of a visual triangle with the butterflies there. And just a bit of foam behind the wings. Keep them popped up. I'm using one of the little word stickers off the sticker sheet that says I simply adore you, because I do. Bit of foam behind this butterfly as well, and just gluing down the center right there. There's a bit of a tear there that I wanted to hide, and it sort of sits nicely between all those the three biggest flowers in the cut file. So I'm going to glue down my photo mat now. I'm happy with it there. I think now I just have to go ahead and work on this little bit down here. So I just thought, because that other butterfly is so big and I've got a bit of a visual triangle going on, I want to make this into a bit of a cluster here, because it just looks silly on its own. So playing with some florals, I pull in that little die cut floral flower, excuse my head there, and I picked the Shine Bright flare because it just wasn't quite as sort of bold as the Love Heart. I love that Love Heart, but I don't know. It looked fine on camera now I'm watching it, but it was overwhelming me at the time. But I'm really happy with how that little cluster went. So now I'm taking all the little enamel dots. I didn't get enough of these. I should have got like 5 packets because I've used nearly all of them already. And I've used the pink and the peach ones, and then I'm just going to put a couple of these little peach hearts down here in some of the empty spots, and that is all finished. I love, love, love this layout. It took me a long time, a lot of heartache and stress, but in the end I absolutely love it and I can't stop looking at it. I'm really happy. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Don't forget to check out the Traveler's Notebook online. I'll leave all the links in the description along with my discount code. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.